All right, everyone. Get ready for a deep dive today into the world of Neil Gaiman and why Good Omens is just so darn appealing.
Yeah, it really does have something special about it.
We've got a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. We're going to peek into Gaiman's career, learn some behind-the-scenes secrets about how he and Terry Pratchett created Good Omens, and even touch on the recent TV show that everyone's been raving about.
What gets me is how this story, with an angel and a demon teaming up to stop the apocalypse, has resonated with people for decades and across different mediums, too. There's some kind of magic there that keeps people coming back.
Absolutely. So before we get too deep into Good Omens, let's talk about the man himself, Neil Gaiman. A lot of folks know him from The Sandman, right?
Oh, yeah, The Sandman. It's such a groundbreaking comic series, the way he plays with dreams and mythology.
Exactly. But there's so much more to his work than just that.
Oh, for sure. He's done a bit of everything in his career. He started out in journalism, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he went on to write children's books, like Coraline. It's surprisingly dark, even for adults. And then there's American Gods. He manages to weave ancient mythology into modern America. Super thought-provoking.
That actually sounds right up my alley. Definitely adding that one to my reading list.
You should.
So getting back to Good Omens, did you know it all started with Gaiman's idea for a story about, get this, a demonic baby swap?
A demonic baby swap gone wrong.
Gone wrong, yep. Hilarious,
Oh,
right?
totally. And it's amazing how that initial, almost sitcom-like humor carries through the entire story. I mean, they're dealing with the apocalypse here, but there's this underlying wit and playfulness that just draws you in.
It's like they took something terrifying and made it, well, fun.
Exactly.
And of course, we can't forget the collaboration with Terry Pratchett, the
Well-
king of comedic fantasy. Can you picture them late at night tossing ideas back and forth? An angel and a demon who are best buddies.
Gaiman has often talked about how much respect they had for each other. You can tell. It really comes through in the book.
I bet they had some epic brainstorming sessions.
Oh, absolutely. They would trade drafts back and forth, really shaping the story together, like two master craftsmen.
Which is so fitting when you think about it. I mean, the heart of Good Omens is this unlikely duo, right? Aziraphale, the angel who loves Earth a little too much.
And Crowley, the demon who's maybe not as evil as he should be.
Exactly. Their back and forth is just brilliant, so witty, but you can also feel this underlying affection between them. No wonder people adore those two.
Oh, they're fantastic. And it's not just the charm. They really push each other to think differently about good and evil.
That's so true. Like in that scene where they're having dinner and actually debating the nature of good and evil, they come to realize that it's not so black and white.
It's like those millennia they've spent on Earth seeing the best and worst of humanity have given them this nuanced view that goes beyond, like, the rules of heaven and hell.
Exactly. They get it. They understand human nature, the good, the bad, the messy in between. And that shared experience, that's what brings them together.
It's brilliant. You expect an angel and a demon to be sworn enemies, but they're united by their love for us humans. Crazy.
Right. Totally. Speaking of things you wouldn't expect, let's talk about how Good Omens finally made it to the screen. It wasn't easy, that's for sure. At one point, Terry Gilliam, the director of Monty Python, was even trying to adapt it.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine how different it might have been?
It's hard to say, but it makes you think,
For sure. But it just never worked out. And then after Pratchett passed away, Gaiman took on this mission to make his friend's dream of seeing Good Omens come to life a reality.
He really poured his heart into it, didn't he?
And he did an amazing job. The show's been a huge success, critically acclaimed, and fans just love it.
It's no wonder, really. The casting was spot on. Michael Sheen as Aziraphale and David Tennant as Crowley. They just nailed that dynamic, the banter, the warmth, everything.
I know, right? They're perfect. And I have to say, they did such a great job with the production design, too. Like Aziraphale's bookshop, for example. It's cluttered, cozy, full of little treasures, just like him.
Little details like that make all the difference. It feels like they really captured the spirit of the book, but they also added their own visual flair, It enhances the story without, like, betraying the original.
Exactly. And now, there's even more Good Omens coming our way. New episodes that are going to explore even more of that world we love so much.
I know, I'm so excited.
And get this, they got John Finnemore to co-write them.
No way! He's brilliant. Cabin Pressure, John Finnemore souvenir program, so funny.
Right. I can't wait to see what he brings to Good Omens. Plus, they're filming it in Scotland. Beautiful scenery and, there's something about Scotland and magic that just goes together. I have a good feeling about this one.
Me too. It sounds like a recipe for success.
Yeah.
You know what's really striking about Good Omens? How they take these really deep questions about good and evil and heaven and hell, but they do it with such a light touch, you know?
Mhm.
It's a testament to both Gaiman and Pratchett, how skilled they were as storytellers, making you think and laugh at the same time.
Absolutely. They don't shy away from those big philosophical questions, but
Yeah.
it's always with this playful spirit that makes you want to, like, lean in and explore those ideas rather than feeling lectured to.
Right. It's accessible, and that's a big part of why it's resonated with so many people for so long. It encourages you to think critically about the world, about your own beliefs, but it never sacrifices entertainment.
Okay, we've talked about the origins of Good Omens, that unique blend of humor and those deeper themes, but let's get back to Aziraphale and Crowley for a second.
Yeah.
That angel and demon duo, I mean, they've really captured people's imaginations. What do you think makes their dynamic so compelling?
Well, you have that classic odd couple setup, right? The meticulous, bookish angel and then the rebellious kind of rock and roll demon. But it goes so much deeper than that.
They're constantly challenging each other's ideas about good and evil, heaven and hell.
Hmm.
They've developed this mutual respect that goes beyond, like, what they're supposed to be.
Exactly. They've been around since the beginning of time, witnessing humanity at its best and worst. So they understand how complex we are, how flawed, how contradictory.
And they don't just tolerate us, they actually care. I mean, they're willing to risk everything, even go against their own superiors, to stop the apocalypse and save humankind.
And that's a crucial point. Their friendship is a rebellion against the rigid system of heaven and hell. They choose love and compassion over blind obedience. They're saying even angels and demons can find common ground and fight for what they believe in.
It's a really powerful message, especially in a world that can feel so divided. Good Omens reminds us that we can connect, that we need to connect, even when we disagree.
Mm.
It's about recognizing that shared humanity.
And it delivers that message with such warmth and humor. It makes it stick with you.
You know, that makes me think about how podcastworld.io can help us challenge our own perspectives, too. Imagine using it to find podcasts that offer different viewpoints on something you're passionate about.
I see where you're going with this.
You could hear from people with different backgrounds, different experiences, and it could completely change your understanding of that issue.
That's the beauty of it, right? Podcastworld.io can be a tool for like intellectual growth, for
Yeah.
building empathy. You step outside your comfort zone and hear those different voices, and who knows, you might even find common ground with people you thought you'd never agree with.
It's all about being open to different ways of thinking and finding those points of connection.
Absolutely. So speaking of new discoveries, let's go back to those new Good Omens episodes. We know they're going to explore new corners of that world, but what are you most curious about?
Hmm, that's a tough one. I'm really intrigued by John Finmore being a co-writer. He's got such a sharp, witty, almost absurd sense of humor. I want to see how that blends with Gaiman's style.
Me too. I think it's a safe bet to say these new episodes will be just as funny as the first season, but maybe even more so, you know? And they're filming in Scotland, which just adds another layer of magic to it all. I can't wait to see how they use the landscape, the history, all of that.
Yeah, it's like they're giving us a whole new playground to explore within this world we already love.
Yeah.
And knowing Gaiman, there will be surprises around every corner.
Oh, for sure. Gaiman's a master at weaving these intricate narratives and keeping you guessing. He's got something up his sleeve, I just know it.
You know, it's amazing how Good Omens keeps capturing people's imaginations all these years later. From the book to the TV show and now these new episodes, it's the power of storytelling, how it connects us across generations.
Absolutely. Good Omens has it all. Characters that feel real, stories that make you think, and humor that just brings people together. It's a reminder that even when things seem bleak, there's always room for hope, for laughter, for connection.
And it shows us that even in the face of the apocalypse, a little kindness, a little humor, and a willingness to challenge the status quo can make all the difference.
Well said. I think that's the heart of Good Omens, that even in the midst of chaos, friendship, compassion, a shamed sense of purpose, those things can help us overcome anything.
That's a great thought, and it's something we can all take with us. But for now, let's just appreciate how Good Omens keeps growing and evolving, reaching new audiences and inspiring new interpretations. It's a testament to creativity and collaboration.
Yeah, it really is something that how Good Omens manages to stay true to itself even as it keeps expanding, you know? Like, the core of it remains strong. It's a testament to the original story and to those who are bringing it to life on screen.
And you have to wonder what Terry Pratchett would have thought of it all. It's sad that he passed away before the TV series came out.
I know.
But Gaiman has said that seeing Good Omens on screen was something Pratchett really wanted.
Oh, yeah, he talked about that a lot.
It feels like a beautiful way to honor his legacy, don't you think?
Definitely. And the fact that Gaiman keeps that partnership alive, even in these new episodes, it says a lot about their friendship, their shared passion for this story. It's like creativity can go beyond, well, everything, even life and death.
It really is special. And I think
Hmm.
the fans feel that too. You know, there's this sense of community, this love for the world that Pratchett and Gaiman created together.
Oh, absolutely. The fans are a huge part of it.
It's like they become part of the creative process. They keep the spirit of Good Omens alive through fan fiction, art, all sorts of things. It's more than just a story at this point. It's an experience that brings people together.
For sure.
And that actually reminds me of what I love about podcasts. Creating a space for connection, for conversation, even if you're listening alone. And now you've got platforms like podcastworld.io that are taking that to a whole other level.
It's amazing how technology is changing how we experience audio, isn't it?
It really is.
Imagine having a conversation about Good Omens, but with an AI that's learned from interviews with Neil Gaiman, behind-the-scenes stuff, even fan discussions.
Whoa, that's a cool thought.
You could talk about themes, analyze characters, even argue about different interpretations.
It'd be like having an endless conversation with other fans, but with insights from the creators themselves guiding the discussion.
Right.
And the best part is, it's not just limited to Good Omens. Podcastworld.io opens up that possibility for any topic you're into.
Exactly. History, science, philosophy, anything. It's like this tool for lifelong learning. The AI is always learning, so the possibilities are pretty much endless.
It is kind of like we've come full circle, huh? We started by talking about Gaiman's career,
Mm.
the creation of Good Omens, a story that's all about imagination and challenging how we see things.
Right.
And now we're talking about technology that lets us engage with stories and ideas in even deeper ways.
It shows how creativity and innovation go together. Gaiman and Pratchett pushed the boundaries of storytelling. And now platforms like podcastworld.io are changing how we learn and connect with information.
I wonder what's next. Maybe someday we'll be able to step right into the world of Good Omens through virtual reality with AI guides that are like,
Mm.
infused with the humor and wisdom of Aziraphale and Growly.
Huh. That's a wild thought, but who knows? It could happen.
Good Omens teaches us that even something as final as the apocalypse can be avoided, right? If you have a little hope, a little humor, and you're not afraid to challenge the status quo.
That's a good point.
Well, on that note, I think we'll leave everyone to think about the power of stories, technology, and how we connect with each other. Pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. Thanks for listening, everyone, and until next time, keep exploring those podcasts.